Welcome back, hot dogs. Your boy Spider Pig. Y'all know what time it is? It's like 10 a.m. on a Saturday. No, it's not 10 a.m. It's like 8 a.m. But hell, it's super Saturday. Hell, y'all know how that goes. The live. So we'll have vertical video versus the studio quality video on YouTube. But you know how that goes. We make it all happen because we do it in the field. Let me see. Cause see, the last time it didn't switch. And I ain't got time for it to be acting funny. But hell, this is why we gonna have to do it and see if pray it works, right? So let's see. Nah, my video I did Wednesday on TWP didn't a little green screen kid on that the first couple times I used.
Hello, monkey. I heard you like to fight, but never let an enemy out of your sight. 20 fool I go with him to face our might. The freezer force will knock you out like a light. Isn't Gohan the only one to get your hand-me-downs? Vegeta had a pity party with his tears out. This here was a weird case, why was he around? Certified Super Saiyan, certified imbecile. Frieza, fuck him up. I did my stuff. Why are you fighting like a bitch? Are you hungry? Try with all your might, but you're still a filthy monkey.
What if you woke up tomorrow and Earth's pull felt triple strength? Could you even grab your coffee mug, let alone throw a roundhouse kick? For the heroes of Dragon Ball Z, that's a regular Monday. They train under moon-crushing gravity, wear ankle weights heavier than mini-fridges, and step into a chamber where a full year blazes by in 24 hours. Epic or fatal for an ordinary human who tries the same. In the next few minutes, we'll slam those cartoon workouts against real fighter pilot data, NASA centrifuge trials, and cutting-edge sports science. You'll see why Vegeta's 300G flex would liquefy your organs, how Goku's 88-pound cuffs could finance your surgeon's beach house, and whether a hyperbolic time chamber could exist outside fan fiction. Ready to find out if you could survive even their warm-up set, smash-like, power-up, and let's test Saiyan training against real-world biology. Dragon Ball Z treats
Now, y'all already know we be finding them great videos because, you know, I put in the research and do my own homework. These are things I'm putting in my research time on. Hopefully you like it. If not, just hit the like button on your way out, though. You know, just don't be a hater just because you don't like it. Just like it and just don't watch it, right?
Training like a light jog, Kid Goku sprinted the 625,000-mile snakeway, sparred midair with Master Roshi, and hauled milk up cliff faces before recess. Prince Vegeta locks himself inside gravity pods dialed past triple-digit Gs, basically deadlifting a dump truck each time he stands. Piccolo's mentorship plan? Drop 6-year-old Gohan in monster-infested deserts and call it lunch if he returns alive. Meanwhile, Trunks and Goten, elementary schoolers, fuse into Gotenks and toss city-busting Kai blasts without a gym card, driver's license, or parental supervision. Real athletes chase edges that echo these cartoons. MMA pros strap on altitude masks to mimic 14,000-foot peaks. Ultra runners hide 5-pound ankle plates to spike heart rate. NASA's Human Performance Lab builds supersuits that simulate lunar gravity so astronauts don't wobble home. Stage combat crews rehearse with weighted swords so the real props feel feather light, and viral Saiyan push-up gauntlets rack up millions of views. because fans crave that anime grind, minus the hospital bill. So, if medical coverage were unlimited, which DBZ workout would you try first? Drop your pick below while we meet the king of gravity junkies. Buckle up, Vegeta's numbers get nasty fast. Ever wondered what would happen if you stepped into Vegeta's gravity chamber? You're probably picturing yourself getting super strong, muscles bulging like a Saiyan warrior. But the reality? Your body would be experiencing some seriously intense physics that would make your workout, well, let's just say challenging. Let's break down what happens when gravity cranks up on your body. Even at just 2 Gs, twice Earth's normal gravity, astronauts experience major physiological changes. Your blood starts pooling in your legs and feet because your heart suddenly has to work twice as hard to pump it back up. Imagine feeling like you might pass out just from standing up. Your cardiovascular system goes into overdrive, increasing your heart rate and blood pressure as it desperately tries to compensate for what feels like doubling your body weight overnight. Now bump that up to 5 Gs and things get wild. If you weigh 150 pounds normally, you'd suddenly feel like you're carrying 750 pounds everywhere you go. Try to lift your arm? That's basically like trying to bench press your entire body weight. Even the simplest movements would cause extreme muscle fatigue almost immediately. Forget doing push-ups. Just lifting your hand to scratch your nose would feel like an Olympic feat of strength. But here's something interesting. There might actually be some benefits to training in slightly increased gravity. Professor Yutika Hirata's research suggests that at around 1.5 to 2 Gs, your brain actually optimizes neural networks for movement. It's not the gravity itself that makes you stronger, but how your brain adapts to create more efficient movement patterns. Think of it as a neural workout alongside your physical one. Push beyond to 10 Gs though, and we're entering the danger zone where Goku supposedly started his training. At this level, your internal organs start to fail dramatically. Your heart simply cannot generate enough force to pump blood against this crushing pressure. Your lungs would begin to collapse under their own newly multiplied weight. Even the tiny blood vessels in your eyes would start to rupture from the immense pressure. You'd likely lose consciousness within seconds as your brain gets starved of oxygen. By the time you hit 20 Gs, your body is facing catastrophic failure. Your rib cage would start to crack under the immense pressure. Your spine would compress dangerously, potentially causing permanent damage. Blood would be completely unable to reach your brain, leading to immediate unconsciousness. There's no pushing through this kind of pain. Your body simply shuts down as a survival mechanism. Not exactly the kind of training montage you were hoping for, right? And Vegeta's casual training at 300 Gs? This is where physics gets truly brutal. At this extreme level, your body wouldn't just fail. It would be instantaneously... Sorry to crush your Saiyan dreams. Pun absolutely intended. But the human body just wasn't designed for these kinds of forces. While gravity chambers might mash you into an organic pancake, what about those flashy weighted accessories Goku and Master Roshi casually wear? You know the iconic moments where they peel off their training gear and suddenly leap as if Earth's gravity switched off? Before you order a set of Saiyan-style workout clothes, let's talk about what 88-pound wristbands would really do to a human body. First, the math. Early in Dragon Ball, Goku's wristbands and boots each weighed 88 pounds for a combined 176 pounds strapped to his wrists and another 176 to his ankles. That's like punching and kicking with a whole adult latched onto every limb. Unlike a gravity chamber, where force spreads evenly, weighted clothes dump all that stress on specific joints. Orthopedic research is grim. Adding just a single pound to your extremities measurably raises joint stress. Now picture 88 pounds dangling from each wrist. Your joints wouldn't just complain, they'd buckle. Even Olympic lifters, the strongest people on Earth, would struggle with this weight distribution. The sheer forces on ligaments and tendons would be catastrophic. A simple jab could snap tissue and land you in the ER before you finish your first kata. There's also the materials problem. What substance could cram 88 pounds into a flexible bracelet without turning it into a hulking shackle? Nothing in the periodic table fits the bill unless you're mining alien alloys. Need a reality check? Modern soldiers carry body armor weighing only 30 to 40 pounds across the torso, and they still develop chronic back and knee injuries over time, despite that weight being far better distributed than wrist or ankle loads. But athletes use ankle and wrist weights, you say. True. Light resistance, about 1 to 4.5 pounds, does improve muscle activation and coordination. The principle is solid. The scale is what makes Dragon Ball-style training physiologically impossible. Think of your body as an engineered structure with hard limits. Joints, ligaments, and bones tolerate only so much stress before failing. In real life, Goku's limbs would be wrecked long before those weights gave him any Super Saiyan boost. Saiyans dodge those earthly limits with a genius shortcut, the hyperbolic time chamber. Train for a year while just one day passes outside? Sounds like anime fantasy, yet it brushes up against Einstein's time dilation math. In Dragon Ball Z, the chamber is an alternate dimension where residents experience 1 year for every external day. Surprisingly, the core idea isn't pure nonsense. Einstein's general relativity says time flows at different rates under different gravitational conditions. Near an extremely massive object, time really does slow compared with regions of weaker gravity. We've proved it. Atomic clocks on GPS satellites tick about 38 microseconds per day, faster than identical clocks on Earth. But to stretch time at a 365 to 1 ratio, you'd need gravity comparable to skimming the event horizon of a black hole weighing 1 billion Earths. Basically surfing reality's edge. The chamber's brutal environment, thin air, higher gravity, wild temperatures, might create super-adapted athletes if they survived. Yet NASA researchers warn that the sensory deprivation of a featureless, endless white void would induce hallucinations and mental collapse within weeks. Physicist Nobuyoshi Ota even flips the concept. Instead of speeding yourself up, trap the villain in ultra-low gravity so their time crawls. You train a full year, they experience a single day. Talk about a tactical edge. So we've seen that trying to train exactly like Goku would turn you into either a pancake or a hot.
You get to actually go through and have a whole fucking year, and then they're stuck in place for basically a day. That would be some bullshit. Yeah, I was on my way to go whoop such and such ass because I already scouted him, and the way his power level looked, I was fitting to win. And the next thing you know, I'm stuck in one spot for a whole 24 hours. On some, I did a weird set of drugs type shit. Shout out to the weird drugs, you know. Hey, if you could be stuck standing still for a whole day and it was like a year to other people, hell, that's some dangerous shit. Call me with that plug. But hell, like here it goes. Anyways, let's see what he say.
Hospital patient. But here's the thing, there's a reason Dragon Ball Z has inspired real athletes across the world. Professional fighters, Olympic weightlifters, and everyday gym enthusiasts have cited Goku and Vegeta's training mentality as motivation for their own fitness journeys. What makes Dragon Ball Z truly brilliant isn't the physics-defying training methods, but the core principles those methods represent. Progressive overload, mental fortitude, and constantly pushing beyond what you thought possible. Next time you're working out, channel your inner Saiyan by gradually increasing resistance in ways that won't liquefy your internal organs. Start with weights you can handle, then add a little more each week. Focus on your breathing like you're charging up a spirit bomb. Remember, the most powerful message from Dragon Ball Z isn't about achieving superhuman strength overnight, but about the incredible potential for growth that exists within all of us. Now get out there and train. Just maybe skip the 300 G's gravity chamber for now.
That's funny trying to be that guy Yamcha almost died. I mean, I'd have looked to make sure my finger was over the off button beforehand. So if I can't hold up, hey, shout out to this D student proving why he showed y'all. But I can't write the story correctly because I'm not gonna be able to use this weapon for Goku. It's an instant nerf. Hey, how do you get rid of Moro? instant nerf them. How do you get rid of certain people? Instant nerf them. You let them have the whole series, and then at the end, you're like, well, shit, I can't beat this guy. Oh, let's instant nerf him. Hell, these don't know how to nerf shit correctly. They just do it at the wrong times.
Put from the World Tournament. After that, we were introduced to some Fist of the North Star bandits that got lost and found their way to Dragon Ball. Now, this one introduces something interesting. If you know anything about Sun Wukong, the character Goku is based on, you know he has 3 iconic tools. Goku has 2 of the 3 tools, but Toriyama never introduced the 3rd, that tool being the sealing gourd. Here, it has the power to seal someone if they don't answer when their name is called. After being sealed, they're turned into a liquid that if someone drinks, they can steal the sealed person's power. Kinda OP, huh? Luckily, Goku is able to avoid being converted with the power pole, and turns the gourd on its owners. Goku lets the villagers keep the gourd. Shame he couldn't keep it, as this is filler. But it's not really his style to use something like that anyway. The bandits are no match for Goku, but assuming they've been using the gourd for a while, they're probably pretty strong. So, let's give them 67 and 73. Now,
Ultra Ego Vegeta is finally moving closer to the anime. At Puerto Rico Comic-Con, Christopher Sabat, the voice of Vegeta, gave fans a first real taste of what is coming. During a panel, he performed one of Vegeta's strongest lines from the Dragon Ball Super manga. Right before Vegeta unleashes his full strength against Granola, he delivers this line.
Oh man, it looks like my favorite line is going to have to be something along the lines, because I don't know what it's going to be in the dub version. Yeah. But it would be, Kakarot's body may have a mind of its own, but me, I'm all ego.
Hearing those words in Vegeta's real voice changes everything. The energy, the tone, the weight behind it. Ultra Ego is no longer just panels in a manga. It is becoming real. The wait is almost over.
I mean, somebody tell your boy Chris that he need to holler at, because, you know, one thing about TWP, aka the Spider Pig, I be putting in that work. If he wants to go ahead and start reading panels, and then the animation studio gonna be looking like, oh shit, he done went ahead and voiced the shit. Now we got to get on top of our job, because you know he ain't gonna be behind in voice recordings, because hell, he's reading the manga and keeping up with the things that he knows is gonna one day be on the desk for actual work. And he's gonna be like, oh, this is easy. I've already had prep time. He gonna be feeling like Batman in the studio. And feeling like Batman. Hey, give me prep time. Y'all see how the show is. I mean, y'all know to go check out the Rumble quality. Well, this is Rumble quality for now. But hell, if y'all like this format versus the verticals, y'all know to either hit me up on a buy me a coffee and let me know to increase what goes into keeping these produced, or you know, you can be quiet and just catch a vertical on YouTube or go to Rumble to watch the studio quality. You dig? Hey, choice is up to yours. That's one thing about your monetization coach. We'll give you options. You dig? You can get the free version or you can get the upgraded version. But the upgraded version is really the free version, but you're going to listen since you're paid, right? Hey, that's the trick to it, right? Let them know. You ain't going to listen till you pay me, so you might as well pay me. Shouts out to the advice.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, although we are hereby left with no other choice than to go and do what needs to be done in order for us to be able to have a fighting chance at surviving, I will now go and do what I must if it means having to buy us all the time that we need in order to stop this nightmare from devouring us all by the very end.
Our story now continues following the initial events of Whis being shown having to nearly save our heroes from the clutches of Raijin's wrath just moments before Raijin went as far as to destroy them, to which it was only seconds after Whis had handed off the final configuration cube on over to our heroes and only having to further instruct on what they should go and do next was when a confused Goku then went on to quickly respond, "Wait, so hold on, you are leaving us in charge and going and taking care of this thing? But what exactly do you think that we ought to go and do here to ensure that this thing is kept safe and away from falling within the wrong hands, Whis?" With Whis responding, "Well, whatever you are all about to go and do, it must be done with the absolute fullest extent of your powers in having to do so, for we must not go and let this relic fall within Raijin's hands, which is why I will go and engage with him while you are all left with this mission and figuring out on what to do moving forward, as your mission by now should be very clear, because while I can't go and promise that I will be strong enough to defeat him," Whis continues, "and I can, however, go and promise to at least go and keep his attention locked onto me while the rest of you are left to plan, and as without the aid of the Grand Minister or the Omni Kings, we are now left to go and think of a way to go and free them while attempting to also hide the relic which Raijin seeks," Whis continues, "and don't worry about me while I'm out there, and so just figure out of a plan in having to keep that cube away from him while we go and use these final moments to think of a way out, and fast," Whis says, "and if this is going to be the very last time that I am able to go and see you all," Whis adds, "then I want for you all to go and remember as to the causes that you are choosing to fight for, and to remain as united as you possibly can, as without the aid of your fellow allies in battle, we are hopeless to go and survive against him," Whis adds, "and so I hereby leave the rest in your hands while I go and deal with this demon on my own," Whis went on to then shout upon being shown dashing towards Raijin, "and while I promise that I will not rest until I am to see that you are to be dealt with in the meantime, Raijin, and if you just so happen to want that cube as badly as you claim to want it," Whis adds, "then you will have to go and pry it from my lifeless, cold, dead body if you wish to go and achieve your ultimate plans of destruction, which I can only go as far as to assure you here and now that you will not be successful in having to go and accomplish. And so whether I am to go and prevail here against you or perish by your hands in this battle, I will never allow for you to go and bypass through my efforts in having all of this end within your favor." However, it was only just upon with Whis being shown having to tackle Raijin through one of these said portals, as Raijin had then gone as far as to now bring Whis back on over into the demon realm and having to give himself the home field advantage, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, "And do you honestly think that any of what it was that you had just mentioned is supposed to somehow go and scare me? Please. And as you are indeed very brave for someone who is left to go and deal with the most dangerous existing entity that the multiverse has ever seen, and having to have you do this all alone, and especially in knowing that without the aid of your angelic siblings to go and stand here alongside you, and because of this, the fight that you are willing to try and wage here against me will be as one-sided as you can imagine for it being, because as skilled as you are and as powerful as you may be," Raijin continues, "with your brother's memories and battle power coursing through my very body, you will never go and find your way out of my clutches, especially since I now know that you are the one who carries the final configuration cube that I seek, Whis, because no matter how composed you remain and no matter how..."
Still, for those who wasn't keeping up, because you know y'all ain't true to this, y'all new to this, they off-screened him getting the second one, which, I mean, if it was going to be the same thing, why put it up twice? I get that. It's where Alex is proving that he's not always an A student. You dig? That was a D student plotline, because, you know, hell, you want to not just show that he could do it this way, give him another skill that's going to be hard to beat. You know, don't just show the same basic 4 skills, because that starts getting D-level student. But, I mean, it's A-level student work, because overall, it's a good product. Shout out to the product, because it's going to keep rolling.
How refined your tactics tactics may in fact be. You are now left all alone and alone within my world while surrounded by darkness that is as old as time itself, and alone you will fall because in the end your light will dim and your breath will slow, and once it's time for me to go and finally finish you, and I will proceed in having to go and do so without hesitation, as your soul will know the very meaning of despair itself, which will ultimately go and stretch far beyond anything that you were ever shown in having to go and experience before, Angel. And since you are nowhere close for me to go and refer to you as my equal in battle, Raijin continues, I will have you simply know that you are merely just the first fallen stone that signals the landslide to come, and as you will not go on to be remembered for how long you stood against me, but instead you will be remembered for being nothing more than just a sacrifice. As Whis went on to then check his surroundings by then having to say to himself, a throne area, so this must be where this demon mainly resides, and so I must be careful with how I choose to go and approach this, because anything can go and happen at any given time, especially as of right now. But there appears to be, however, something that I sense that is being restrained within Raijin's attacks. Whis went on to then make note of this by responding, as he appears to be channeling immense power, but also appears to be caging it deep within himself as well. But why is the question? For is it possible that he is maybe perhaps caging his true power deep within himself, or perhaps maybe a weakness of some kind that I have yet to explore on the surface? And as whatever that strange feeling was that I had just sensed, Whis went on to continue upon being shown dashing towards Raijin, and it must be something that I have to try and exploit by dragging it out and onto the surface, because if what I felt was perhaps some kind of a weakness, then I must hurry to go and try to do the best that I can in getting down to the bottom of learning of this monster's weakness immediately. Well, as sure of yourself as you may go on to appear to be, you should already also be well aware that we angels will not go and crack so easily under the pressures of such battles, no matter how powerful the opposition appears to be, which that just so happens to go and include you, for you are nothing more than a bloodthirsty parasite who will ultimately fail in their attempts to obtain what he is seeking, and deep down, you absolutely know for this to ultimately go and be true, as Raijin was then shown having to laugh and deflecting Whis' attacks by then responding, oh, is that so? Raijin responds, and that's where you're wrong, because while you may assume that my fate is to be decided by having me fall just as those who have fallen before me, my fated destiny, on the other hand, will not go and be decided by the likes of any of you, simply because you are all out of time and all out of solutions in doing anything that will truly make a lasting difference here against me in this battle. And as your endurance may keep you standing for now, Angel, but it cannot hold the inevitability that I have become and grown into, and because I can go and see right through your tactics, I am now able to understand that you seek to exhaust me. Raijin continues upon Whis being shown spitting blood within his hand, upon also being shown having to oversee thousands of demons making their way all across the multiverse. And as I can begin to now see that you are looking to go and bleed me dry inch by inch, but you cannot hope to outlast what simply does not wish to be extinguished, Angel. For you believe yourself to be clever, Whis, but cleverness without an overwhelmingly stronger force to help back you is nothing more than an annoyance. And quite honestly, Raijin continues, I have grown very tired in having to go and deal with such weary annoyances, for you mistaken the demon realm's shifting tides as a sign of your influence, when in reality, this very realm along with everything inside of it bends its power to my very will, as it continues to go and feed in strengthening me. And so for every second that you remain here, Raijin continues, will you only go on to nourish the very force that you seek to destroy. And if you still wish to not go and believe me, Raijin says, then I will be more than happy enough to go and demonstrate to you by showing you on exactly what I mean. To which it was only moreover within this very moment back within Universe 7 on Beerus' planet, as the others were beginning to discuss of a plan in trying to hide or get rid of the configuration cube that they were in possession of, as Gohan then went on to quickly respond, so now, any idea on what you all have in mind in having to go and help get that thing and keep it as far away from that demon as possible, Gohan questions? Because if this is the very relic that Raijin is desperately trying to go after and obtain, then should we go and try to destroy it in hopes of maybe having it work within our favor? favor or something, with Vegeta responding, well, our mission was to go and hide the relic and not destroy it, Gohan, because if Whis had wanted for the cube to go and be destroyed, Vegeta says, then I have no doubt that he would have went and done it himself, and so we will have to go and somehow find a way to remain in control of it until another opportunity is to present itself. And so I say that we go and take this fight back to Earth, where we can ultimately go and have the others join in and having to aid us in case we are to go and be outnumbered in the meantime. As Beerus went on to then quickly chime in, well, the boy is right, and so I say that we go and take this time to go and head back to Earth so that way we can go and keep these demons as far away from my planet that I can, Beerus continues, in having us go and hold the line by clearing out the planet of all of its invading creatures instead, saying, yeah, that.
I love how Beerus said, you know, if they don't sense anybody's at my trap house, they ain't gonna come fucking with my trap house. They'll just, you know, wait till I'm either dead and then come over here and try to take over my house, or just leave my house alone because I'm not at home. You dig? I'm out in these streets. He said, I'll catch you on planet Earth out in the hood. You see what I'm saying? He said it ain't 63rd, it's 64th or 65th. Beerus getting on his Chicago kick. Shouts out to Beerus. He might be the reincarnated spirit of somebody's favorite rapper.
That's actually a good idea, Goku then went on to quickly chime in, and so we'll head back to Earth in the meantime so that we can go and have the others join us, so that way we won't go and be outnumbered, with Vegeta then having to quickly respond, then let's go and head back to Capsule Corp because I can sense a great battle that is seemingly taking place out there, which more than likely means that those demons have already invaded, and so now let's go. But then, it was only from within those very moments as Goku went on to pull the individual out that was looking to grab hold of the final configuration cube was when Goku then went on to quickly shout, no, you don't, and so nice try, but we aren't going to be letting you demons go and get your hands on this cube that easily. Hey, wait a second. Kibi, is that really you? With the frightening demon Kibi having to then respond, wait, it's me. No, Goku, just stop. It's me. It's Kibi, so don't attack me and just calm down, please. For I didn't go and come here with the intention to cause harm onto you, but to rather go and find and address you in matters that involve both Raijin, the Dark Masters, and that strange cube that Raijin appears to be looking for, and so please just don't attack me, with Vegeta then having to quickly chime in, out of the way now, Kakarot, for he must be dealt with and dealt with fast, otherwise there is no telling on the amount of damage that this demon is willing to go and cause if he is able to be given a chance to flee with his life, and so now move! Wait, don't do it, Vegeta, Kibi here's one of the good ones, Goku then went on to quickly plead with Vegeta by shouting, and so just hold on for a second and don't go off and trying to destroy him when he was the one who actually went out of his way to go and send me back into Universe 7 from the Demon Realm. And then so just try to calm down for just a second here and listen to what it is that I'm telling you, because he isn't like the others, as I can go and promise that he is not. And so wait, Vegeta, you've got to be kidding me, Saiyan. Beerus went on to then quickly chime in, as if I'm going to go and allow for this pathetic little foot soldier of Raijin's to go and attempt to try and sneak back onto my planet, and only having him think that he is going to go and snatch that cube away from us and not live long enough to go and regret his actions. And so now out of the way so we can go and destroy this little demon before things go and get worse for us in the meantime, as Goku went on to then plead with everyone by then responding, now just wait and hold on, everyone. Look, I think you guys have it all wrong, because I'm telling you that he is not like the rest of them, and that is simply because if it were not for Kibi here, then there is no telling on what would have went and happened to me while I was trapped down there within the demon realm with those demons, as it is only now because of this fact I want you all to simply go and give him a chance here, as you will all see in due time as to what I mean, and so just trust me here, because I wouldn't be going and lying to you if I wasn't sure, with Kibi responding, and your ally here is right, for I did not intend on coming here to start any trouble with any of you, but would rather attempt to try and offer a helping hand in having to help you stop Lord Raijin and the Dark Masters for good. And while I know on how this might sound, you'll have to just go and trust me on this, because while I may have been loyal to the Dark Masters and Lord Raijin before, I know now that this is not the path that both myself and many others who are just like me want to go down and follow. And while I know that you may not go and trust any of us at the moment, Kibi continues, which quite frankly you have every reason not to, but this is something that you will have to go and simply trust me on, because if you don't, then you will only be putting a far bigger target on your backs than what you already have now, and so in order to ensure that Raijin does not manage to go and get his hands on that final configuration cube, I will simply need for all of you to trust me enough in handing that cube on over to me and allow me to go and hide it deep within the pits of the demon realm, as Lord Raijin wouldn't go and think twice about having that very cube be hidden within our realm, since he will ultimately have to come and find out that the angel no longer is in possession of the cube sooner or later anyways. And while you don't have to go and like me, as I don't expect for any of you to actually like or trust me, Kibi continues, but right now within this very moment in time, you will ultimately need someone who understands the monster that you are up against, as we were all forged within Lord Raijin's shadow, and because we all were, Kibi continues, we would be the ones who would ultimately know his judgment while creating confusion around him, and so please let me be the one to create this misdirection that buys you all the time that you need, Kibi says, for I am not asking for you to go and surrender your mission here to me either, but I am simply rather offering you all a path for us to go and move ahead, in a path that I believe that Raijin won't see coming, and having me go and buy you all the additional time that you need in order for you all to go and come up with a good enough plan that will finally be what stops them. As Goku went on to then address everyone by then responding, I see, well, even though we are all seemingly having to run on borrowed time here, since there's no telling on how Whis is doing out there against him, and I think that it just might be worth a shot if we go into, have you completely lost your mind here or what? Vegeta went on to then cry out by responding, because there is no chance that we will ever allow for scum like you to go and lay claim to what that monster is looking for, because how do we know that you just won't go and turn it in for him once you have ultimately had went and tricked Kakarot here into handing it over to you? Vegeta questions. No chance, demon, you hear me? And so even if what Kakarot says here about you is to be taken as truth, Vegeta continues, then how exactly can the rest of us be so sure in having to trust you when this could all simply be a ploy in having to get this cube on over to your dark leader, once you have simply went and having to go and convince us in handing this over to you? With an annoyed Kibi then having to quickly respond, well, even though I may be a demon by blood, that doesn't mean that I agree with what the Dark Masters and what Lord Raijin are doing in having to create chaos all throughout the multiverse, including within the demon realm itself, which is why I will not go and allow for you to go and talk down to me, as if you somehow have went and convinced yourself in believing that you know me better than I know myself, Saiyan, as my survival depends on his failure just as much as yours does, and if I truly had intended to go and betray all of you, Kibi continues, then I simply would have just kept Goku locked away within the abyss instead of having to go and risk my existence to help bring him back into this world and save him, and by that very extension in having to go and save all of you as well, with Goku having to be here to help you, Kibi says. So even though I am not asking for you to go and believe me, what I am asking for is to have you trust me, as I wouldn't go and be doing this and risking my life in opposing the Dark Masters and Lord Raijin, and if I simply didn't believe in my heart that what they are currently doing is going to result in the utter destruction of us all if they aren't.
But anyways, he's setting Kiwi up to be his new demon realm king or god or whatever the fuck's gonna happen for his demon world projects coming up. See, this is what we call forecasting. You dig? We know good or bad weather shouldn't be coming, and he said this guy's already working with a good guy, so you know he's gonna be in a position to be top dog. Hell, he don't look too strong though, but hell, you know, when the demon come for his get back, you know he gonna be that body. But hell, for right now, he gonna be like, yeah, go ahead, take the pack and go hide it from him, so we get some time to go try to figure out this fucking Xeno button, because that's gonna be the only thing that should be getting everybody up out of things. Hell, he'll probably try to bring in the comedy and make it a lightweight scenario, like, oh yeah, Goku forgot he had it at first. Then when he thought about it, he went and got it. Cause you know how Goku is. Shit, he gonna try to hit that Xeno button and summon Xeno, cause it should bring him to him. Cause you know, technically Xeno is equivalent to the Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls put him to sleep, but Goku always call him, he said. So you dig? If a motherfucker sleep and I call you, you better pick up. Yeah, will Xeno pick up? Probably, maybe not. We'll see. Stay tuned. Shout out to Tone. He over here live on YD Boys. I'm gonna go check him out.
Stopped, with Goku then having to respond, listen to me, because while I know on how you feel and would normally be right there with you and questioning every move that he makes, but Kibi's right about everything here, Vegeta, as this just might be the only real chance that we've got to buy ourselves some time, and so we can't afford to just go and throw it away just because we're not used to going and trusting someone like him, Goku adds. To which if Kibi is willing to go and risk his life so that we can go and buy some time in having to stall Raijin for just a little while longer, Goku continues, then we will simply have to go and take his word for it and take these moments while we still can in trusting him for the sake of protecting everything that we have been fighting near and dear to uphold, Vegeta. And so now I don't know on what exactly you have planned here, but I trust that you will go and do what needs to be done in order to go and hide this cube and keep it as far away from him that you possibly can, Goku says, while the rest of us go and having to figure out on how we can possibly go and set the Omni Kings free along with helping find the Grand Minister and the others. And so here, Goku says, go and take this and defend it with your life, because while I may not know on where you are going to be going and taking this cube, whatever you end up doing, just make sure that he isn't able to grab hold of you and having to go and rip that cube away from your possession, Goku says. And so I am trusting that you will go and keep this safe and away from Raijin for as long as you possibly can manage to go and do so, while me and the others in the meantime go and try to think of a way and having to go and use this to our advantage, so that way we can go and finally put an end to all of this once and for all. And so be careful, with Kibi responding, well, thank you very much for putting your trust in me to go and keep this safe and away from Raijin's ability to go and obtain Son Goku. And as my only worry from this point moving forward is that I don't wind up in having to disappear like how many of the other demons have went and disappeared via some kind of a random bottomless dark portal that had appeared beneath them. And so I will do what I must in order to go and ensure that this works, with Gohan then having to chime in, hey wait, and so when you say things like they just went and disappeared without a trace after being dragged under by some kind of a random bottomless portal, then you're meaning to tell us that this wasn't a direct result in having these demons simply return back into the demon realm, Gohan questions? Because if they themselves are not responsible for such a thing, and if Raijin or those Dark Masters aren't either, then what exactly is? With Kibi responding, well, I don't really know as to who or what is causing for such a thing to go and have happen, but something is going on that warrants our attention, and since Lord Raijin is the massive roadblock that is preventing us in having to learn about the truth of what is truly going on, along with having him pose as being the greatest risk to all life across the multiverse as we currently are to go and know of, I will go and do what I must. And so while there may not be enough time for us to go and get down to the very bottom of how we are to go and prevail here against them, Kibi continues, and I will further go on to offer you my helping hand in battle later if you need for me to go and do so, as I am first to go and make my way back into the demon realm and to trying to go and hide this cube before I am spotted by anyone, which is a gamble that none of us here should ever be willing to go and take, Kibi continues. And so I will go and return to you all once I have successfully hidden this relic, because one way or another, whoever holds this cube on their person, Kibi adds, will ultimately end up in having to be targeted by Lord Raijin, regardless of who in fact may actually end up holding it, with Goku then having to respond, well, we're counting on you and trust you with this, Kibi, and so please don't make us regret in having to go and do this, because this is our one and only chance to go and do what we can to stop this, as we are going out of our way to go and place our faith within you. And so just try and stay in contact with us if you can without you having to be spotted in the meantime, with Kibi being shown having to turn around by responding, well, I will go on to do everything within my power to create a strong enough distraction so that Lord Raijin and the others are left with confusion whilst assuming that you are all carrying what he is looking for within the moment, as even though it won't be as easy for me to simply go and contact you directly by simply having to go and click on a button or reading your mind and giving you an update, Kibi adds, but I will instead go and try to come back into your world by joining you in this battle against the Dark Masters and Raijin once I am able to go and find a good enough place to go and hide this cube from having them discover it, Kibi continues. And so we will go and stay in touch for the time being, but just please try to stay alive in the meantime, because if the rest of you are all to fall, Kibi says, then so falls our entire plan. And so for the time being, remember this message and good luck, Universe 7, as something within that very moment then began to dawn upon Goku, as Goku then went on to quickly address this to himself by then responding, wait a minute now, hold on. Goku then went on to proceed to say to himself upon being shown having to remove his fingers from his forehead, could that really end up being the key that will ultimately help us to finally go and put this madness to rest? Because although it's been quite a while since I was last seen having to wear it, maybe it's still there somewhere if I didn't already lose it, and that is simply because if it is, then that is exactly what I will need that will help us break free and win, Goku says, with Vegeta then having to chime in, what's the holdup, Kakarot, are you coming back to Capsule Corp with us and having to go and hurry and join the others and seeing on how bad the damage is that's been caused by those demons back on Earth, or are you simply going to just stand there and daydream all day because we're running out of time, with Goku being shown having to turn around by responding? And actually, on second thought, you guys go and make your way back to West City, and I'll go and regroup with you all shortly after, since I just so happen to have remembered something really important that could actually be what saves us all. But in order for that to truly become a reality, Goku continues, then I will need to go back home first in order for me to go and check on something, as I will ultimately go and join you all soon once I'm able to find it if I can. And so now don't worry about me, and let's just stick to the plan that we have so far in order for us to go and make sure that nothing goes wrong in the time that I am gone. And so I'll just go and meet with you all a little later on once I'm able to see if I still have it, with Beerus then having to be shown chiming in. Are you crazy? And just what exactly do you mean by having to just go back home and meet with us a little later on, Saiyan? And as what could possibly be so important to you that you feel the need to go and rush back home instead of having to join us on the front lines and wiping these creatures out once and for all, Beerus questions. As I'm willing to go and bet that it's food now, isn't it? For you're going to go off and stuff your face first, and you don't want the rest of us to find out, is that right? Well, actually, now that you've mentioned it, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't starting to get really hungry here, but no, because as much as I would love to go and just take a quick break and grabbing something to go and fill my stomach up with, Goku says, I'm actually going to go and look for something, and even though I would really love to go and tell you all as to what exactly it is that I'm going to be going and looking for when I get back home, Goku says, and I think that it would be best if I don't go and mention anything here at all, since we'll never truly know on who's listening in on our conversations while we're here, and so it's better to go and avoid it having to go and let the enemy in on what our plans are going to be, Goku adds. And so you'll just have to go and trust me on this one, as I promise that I will try to make this as quick as I can. And so in the meantime, just try not to wind up in having to find yourselves fighting that demon god Raijin without me if he winds up having to come back again, but I promise that I'll go and make this quick. And so I'll go and see you all back at Capsule Corp in just a few, okay? So see you all in just a bit. Gotta run, with Vegeta responding, are you insane? You can't be serious right now, Kakarot, and just what exactly are you... Oh, curse that idiot, Vegeta says, as this wasn't the right time, nor was it the right condition for him to go and take a break on us just moments before having to go and leave. And as you better not have went and lied to us and actually have some kind of a plan here, Kakarot, or else you're going to wish that you hadn't went and just left us now, with Beerus then having to chime in. Well, what's done is done, and the idiot's already left, and so it's best for us to go and take our leave back to Earth now, before more of them start showing up around here, Beerus adds, which I'm already beginning to get extremely sick of. And so now let's hurry it up and trust that this idiot Goku knows what he is doing and didn't just go and leave us for nothing, with Vegeta having to then respond, oh fine, then we'll hurry it back and trust that he'll go and return to us with some kind of a strategy, because while we go and head back to Earth, there is no telling on what awaits us once we arrive, but once we do, then trust that it's open season for everyone who isn't aligned with us. And so that means as soon as we go and touch down, Vegeta says, don't go and hold anything back, and so let us do what it is that we have to go and do in order to go and make a statement known loud and clear. And so now grab on and let's go. To which it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 39 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that although I am relieved to see that Raijin wasn't able to catch on to my plans in having to notice me hand the final configuration cube over to our heroes before having to enter into the demon realm, fighting this monster head-on like this was certainly not a challenge that I had previously prepared in having to deal with. However, even while I'm down here and while I am able to garner Raijin's attention throughout the course of combat here against him, if our heroes somehow manage to go and lose the cube or have any of those other demons obtain it, do I only then believe that we are truly going going to be facing a nightmare that we won't be able to wake back out of. And because of this, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. And before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
But like I said in my prediction earlier, I think Goku might be going to go look for that Xeno button. Forgetting that he is supposed to carry that on him at all times. Because hell, who better to ever help you out than Lord Xeno himself? Xeno, get rid of this motherfucker, man. I ain't got my ceiling gourd, so I can't just trick him and nerf him that way. Hell, I forgot my instant nerf. That's what the good writers always do. Set yourself up for a bad situation and bring yourself an instant nerf. Yeah, wake Xeno back up and he'll come back out of that spell like, oh yeah, that spell was just placed. As long as I was asleep, the barrier was to protect me. Well, I done woke up, so now I dispelled the barrier. Damn, the Super Dragon Balls is here? What's going on? Well, they finna get ready to evaporate or lock the fuck up, whatever they gonna do in this situation, because they froze. Like Vegeta right here in this mean pose. Those who don't remember this video, you gonna like this song. It's a good classic. Like to hear it? Here it goes.
You're making a big mistake. Where do you think you're going?
This is one of those reminders of why it was a good thing that Gohan wants to be a scholar. He said, I'm not trying to be out here getting boo-bopped and moo-wopped by motherfuckers like Vegeta. Hell, this motherfucker's out here really strong and will put some work in on that ass. They don't care if you're a kid or not. Shout out to protecting yourself.
Pity, what a waste of talent. Bye. Not today. Back off. Haven't you away? A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
Are you okay?
Have you ever wondered how strong the Frieza Force is? And I mean actually, how strong they truly are? Because first of all, we have not seen the whole of the Frieza Force during the Namek Saga. I mean, we already knew that even now, 35 years later, we learned about new strong characters that existed back then within the Frieza Force. It's just that Frieza never used them because, come on, he did not predict the outcome of what would unfold during the Namek Saga. So basically, in this video, we will see how strong the Frieza Force truly was during the start of Dragon Ball Z, and for bonus, at the end of the video, we will discuss how strong his force is right now during Dragon Ball Super. So, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a list of all the canon combatants in the Force that we know of, from weakest to strongest. All the way down at number 19 we got the Frieza soldiers, the generic grunts. These soldiers have power levels ranging from 500 to 1200 and are often used as cannon fodder in battles. While they can fight, they are far below the elite members of Frieza's army in terms of power, but don't let that fool you. A power level of 500 to 1200? Let's dissect that. Master Roshi could blow up the moon. And even if you see that as a gag, Kami with a power level of 320 was able to restore the moon, and Piccolo with a power level of around 400 was able to vaporize it with not as much effort. And all the soldiers of Frieza are above that. All of the thousands to maybe even millions, who knows, are able to casually destroy a moon, aka a small celestial body. Let that shit sink in. So yeah, anyways, at number 17 we have Raditz. Raditz is the first major antagonist of Dragon Ball Z and has a power level of 1500, which puts him on par with the upper tier Frieza soldiers, but still below the elite soldiers. He moved at a minimum light speed, most likely faster, and has the ability to destroy a moon to probably the surface of the planet, just like Manga Boros. Yeah, he is an issue, and we are just at number 17. At number 16 we have subscribe. That's what we have. We have number subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I would really greatly appreciate that. I'll have a lot of fun content coming up. Anyways, enjoy the video. Nappa has a power level of 4000. Nappa is a powerful Saiyan warrior who, alongside Vegeta, is one of the top fighters in the Saiyan army, and they work directly under the Frieza Force, so they are part of the Frieza Force. Despite his impressive strength, he is still weaker than Frieza's elite. Here we are talking about a power that can most likely destroy the planet, a small planet that is, but still a planet. He was able to vaporize a country-sized city with just casually lifting 2 fingers up. Yeah, try to beat that. Now we will talk about some honorable mentions. Shisami and Tagoma. I would have placed them around here. This is how strong I think they are at the time. So number 17 and 18 respectfully. But if I'm not mistaken, they joined the Frieza Force after Frieza's death. So that's why they are honorable mentions. But I also have another honorable mention that I believe is of course stronger than Shisami and Tagoma, and that is Gas. He is part of the Heaters, but they work under Frieza just like the Saiyans, so they could be part of the overall Frieza Force. The reason I put Gas here above Nappa, Shisami and Tagoma is because he was defeated by Bardock, a low class Saiyan, during the flashback. Though he was stronger than him, he just got outperformed by Bardock. After the humiliation, he started training and got very strong during the Granola arc pre his wish to become the strongest. But of course his strength pre-wish was relative to the people at the start of Z. Now, how strong he truly was at the start of Z is impossible to know, but I would put him above Nappa and the others for sure. But higher than that, I'm not fully confident, so keep in mind that he could be placed higher depending on the opinion of people. But for now, he is just an honorable mention because I'm not 100% sure if you can see him as part of the Frieza Force or just like a broker or intermediate person. So yeah, going to number 15. These are a duo actually, so number 15 and 14, we got Abo and Kado. So Abo, like Kado, is a strong soldier, though they might be weaker, likely around the 8 to 9,000 in terms of power level. The reason I put them above Gas is because they were so good that they were even allowed to be in the Ginyu Force, unlike Gas. But then again, Gas could have chosen to stay with the Heaters, so yeah, these are interchangeable. But yeah, Abo forms a duo with Kado. The reason why I put them so high up is because in the special OVA, Yo Son Goku and his friends are back, which is canon by the way. they were stated to be around the Ginyu Force level back at that time. But of course, during the special, they were as strong as Frieza because it takes place later. But the reason why I put them at the lowest of the Ginyu Force is because they weren't in the 5 members of the Ginyu Force, which means they have to be weaker than them because they definitely didn't lack in the charisma part of it, unlike someone else. Spoiler warning. Again, remember guys, I am talking at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z in the timeline, not later. At number 13 we have Guldo. Despite his low power level compared to the other Ginyu Force members, he makes up for it in terms of psychic ability, and his most OP one, time freeze. It's just that it takes his breath, so if he just did a little bit more cardio, he would become so OP. But yeah, people are sleeping on Guldo, man. A person with a power level of 10,000. So that means he can destroy planets easily and stop time. Realistically, what are you going to do to him? Nothing. Exactly. Shout out to Guldo, man. At number 12, we have Vegeta. Vegeta has a power level of 18,000 at the start of Dragon Ball Z, and yeah, he would be a crazy strong, formidable opponent. As you guys already know, I don't have to say much about him, but this might be controversial. At number 11, I have Kui, who also has a power level of 18,000. Kui is a formidable elite soldier, having a power level significantly higher than the likes of Raditz and Nappa. He is a rival to Vegeta early in the Namek Saga, and I mean, his place in this list can be interchangeable with Vegeta, but just because he was so cocky to Vegeta, I think he might have had a slight edge at the start of Dragon Ball Z. Do keep that in mind. But yeah, as I said, it can also be the other way around. Perfectly fine with me. At number 10, we have Dodoria. He has a power level of 22,000. Dodoria is one of Frieza's top fighters, known for his brute strength and violent nature. He is a key figure in Frieza's military, and yeah, he is basically Frieza's delete button. If someone acts up, or if a group acts up, yeah, Frieza just has to press the Dodoria button and he'll wipe them out. At number 9, we have Zarbon. Zarbon has a power level of 23,000. Zarbon is a reliable commander and often seen as Frieza's right-hand man. He is skilled in battle, and his transformation into a monstrous form boosts his power, making him a major threat, and he deserves the number 9 spot on the list. At number 8, we have a person that a lot of you might not know. She is a former member of the Ginyu Force, and her name is Bonyu. She was a powerful fighter who was deemed too serious and independent for the team. Her skills put her on the same level as the Ginyu Force members. The reason she is higher than Abo, Kado, and Guldo is because she got basically fired. Not because she was too weak, but too serious. She lacked the charisma other than Abo and Kado, who lacked strength. She is of the same race as Jace, and yeah, she is canon. She was just somewhere else during the Namek Saga, and she never left the Frieza Force, just the Ginyu Force, which is part of the Frieza Force at large. At number 7, we have Recoome. Recoome has a power level of around 40,000. He is known for his incredible durability and strength. Despite being defeated by Goku, he was able to put up a tough fight and shows off his raw power and stamina. At number 6, we have Berter, with also a power level of around 40,000. The self-proclaimed fastest being in the universe, Berter's speed makes him a unique and dangerous opponent. While his power is similar to Recoome's, his speed and agility put him ahead of most opponents. At number 5, we have Jace. Jace is a member of the Ginyu Force and one of Frieza's most loyal and powerful soldiers. Though not as fast as Berter or as durable as Recoome, Jace's battle experience and fighting skills make him a formidable opponent in combat, and his speed is relative to Berter, hence why they can combine their moves. And he seems to be the smartest out of the bunch, but of course number 5, 6, and 7 are interchangeable however you see fit, because yeah, they're a bit of a gray area who truly is stronger between those 3. At number 4, we have Abo Kado. Abo Kado is the fusion of Abo and Kado, combining their strengths to create a fighter even stronger than the likes of the normal Ginyu Force members. His power level is likely around 100,000, making him one of the strongest fighters. But the reason he isn't above Captain Ginyu is because he would likely get a position or even overthrow Captain Ginyu, which never happened. So this is his place at number 4. But it's crazy because Frieza had these behemoths in his force, and if they all were at the Namek Saga, Frieza would have easily won and became immortal. At number 3, we have Captain Ginyu with a power level of 120,000. The leader of the Ginyu Force, Captain Ginyu is known for his ability to switch bodies using his body change technique. His strength is formidable, and his ability to manipulate bodies makes him a tricky opponent. And yeah, someone with a power level of 120,000, by the way, he is easily large planetary in strength, and to have him in your crew, well, it's pretty easy to conquer every planet. At number 2, we have King Cold. King Cold is Frieza's father and a powerful figure in the universe. Though he is not as active as Frieza, his power is formidable, but he tends to be overshadowed by Frieza's immense strength, but not by much. Because King Cold is relative, because the people sensed a power level almost equal to Frieza, and Frieza himself was stronger as Mecha Frieza, though he wasn't at his 100% form, which means Frieza probably had a power level of like 70 million at the time, and King Cold might be around 60 to 70 million, which is, yeah, well into star level in terms of power. But at number 1, we have Frieza with a power level of 120 million at his peak, with his 100% form. Frieza, the universe's most notorious tyrant, is the undisputed strongest member of his army. His power level in his first form alone is enough to put him far ahead of his top subordinates. Frieza's ability to transform into more powerful forms further amplifies his terrifying strength, making him the primary antagonist of the Namek Saga, and the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. You name it, man. He is also in the realm of star to maybe even large star level. So, conclusion, the Frieza Force is highly strong. I mean, duh. But you gotta truly fathom how strong they are. So, after breaking down the Frieza Force from top to bottom, it's clear just how terrifyingly strong this army was, even at the start of Dragon Ball Z. Let's not forget that Frieza never had to use his full army on a single planet because, quite frankly, that would have been overkill. We're talking about an organization where the weakest soldiers, combatant soldiers, are capable of casually blowing up moons, and elite members can easily destroy entire planets without breaking a sweat. If Frieza had unleashed his full army during the Namek Saga, the Z fighters wouldn't have stood a chance. Imagine dozens of warriors like Jace, Berter, and Raccoon descending on a planet simultaneously. That's a planetary annihilation event waiting to happen. Add Captain Ginyu and Avocado into the mix, and we're talking about forces that could wipe out entire star systems. And then there's King Cold, someone whose power rivals that of even Mecha Frieza 50%, placing him firmly in the star level category. At the top, of course, stands Frieza himself with a power level reaching 120 million in his final form. If he had mobilized his army at its full potential, the universe as we know it could have been reshaped entirely under his rule. The Frieza Force wasn't just a collection of random fighters, it was a cosmic empire of destruction. They didn't conquer planets, they obliterated them when necessary. This army was the definition of fearsome, and it's no wonder that even decades after the Namek Saga, the reputation still holds weight in the Dragon Ball universe. And as we'll see at the end of the video, Frieza's force has only evolved in strength. And as for the present day Frieza Force, well, we don't know much. We just know the remaining Oyo and Maki joined this force, and I'm sure we will get to see new members that are way stronger in the new Frieza Force. But even without that, the new Frieza Force has become extremely powerful, way more than before. And why, you ask? just because of Black Frieza, man. Black Frieza himself. He would blink away his previous army, himself included. Damn. But, and as always, keep existing.
I released a video recently where I made the assertion that not a single one of you could beat any Dragon Ball fighter. And the hilarious part is, the comments were flooded with people who thought that I was wrong and that they had valid answers. You're all wrong, so let's go through them. You think you could beat Chaozu in a fight? Sorry, my guy, but he can fly, psychically control your entire body, and shoot deadly Dodonpa beams that would have one-shotted Goku an arc prior. So yeah, try again. You think you can beat Ranfan or Bacterian from the World Tournament? Well, at least you're getting a bit more creative now, but still, unfortunately, both of them, despite their gimmicks, were still highly capable fighters that made their way through the preliminary rounds of the most illustrious martial arts tournament in the world. Unless you are a legit high-level professional fighter, which I highly doubt you are, you ain't taken either of these guys. Videl, not even close. Chi-Chi, she is absolutely wiping the floor with you. Oolong? Well, okay, he's not really a fighter to begin with, is he? But honestly, he might just turn into a rocket and fly out of your reach, so even if you do cheat, you're still not beating a Dragon Ball fighter. Sorry.
Shouts out to the big homie. Y'all go check out them beats over on at DJ Is. Especially watching this part of the video. Appreciate that.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door.
See, they already know. Go ahead, put me up on the next DJ Is track. But we ain't gonna let him take over my video. Y'all need to go check out DJ Is on your own time. Because, you know, we still got more stuff to do this morning. I ain't gonna try to hold y'all up all damn day. Hopefully the video quality was good the first time. Like the studio versions, catch them on Rumble. Other than that, y'all can do the vertical streams on YouTube and hope my videos be popping. Popping. Poppity.